Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud. You're about to listen to a compilation. Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and David Lauer.
I don't know what the mission is called. I think it's called Give Me Some Slack, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Give me some freaking slack, alright? Okay, so anyways.
It was pretty cool. It's, it's
yeah,
above water, it's heights. They're the girls are tied to the rope or whatever to the harness.
Yeah.
And then the guys gotta hold on to the rope to support their body weight. So they're kind of leaning in a stance, holding the girls as they reach out to these little skulls, these little wooden skulls.
Yeah,
and there's 5 of them.
Each
and they're
one
all
is further and further.
It's further and harder. Yep, harder and
so
harder.
it's harder for a short chick.
Yes.
That's
for sure.
really
if
really
you got
flawed.
long arms, it's definitely an advantage.
That's entirely flawed. Right? I don't know. I really feel...
I felt like it was.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think
it just gave an advantage to the girls who were taller.
Oh, fuck. All right, well, okay. So anyways, I'm sorry, short girls.
But you know what? Being tall is a skill, all right?
Yeah,
or is it? Skill. I don't know. That's the question.
You gotta get yourself on that rack, girl. Stretched out.
Can you stretch yourself taller?
Medieval joke. All right. I just gotta throw in, remember when Sarah won? Because she was going to retire and then she married. She's right back. Apparently that marriage isn't that great. Right?
She needed a timeout.
She's a fresh bride. Like what? What was it? Like 6 months maybe? Of being married and then you had to take off for like a month and a half or something? That's weird.
Well, let's want some time apart.
For some reason, if I found myself married to Sarah and she wanted to take off like that soon into the marriage, or any girlfriend, could you imagine that? What the fuck?
I mean, there is just the money factor where it's like, well, you could go and get some money.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe they're really broke and they really need the money. Because if they didn't need the money and they had, successful jobs, it'd just be like, okay, well, this way we can see each other all the time.
I would rather have my wife close to me than have that money. Yeah, because that soon into the marriage is a little ridiculous to me. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, second couple, Johnny Riley and Jessica. Johnny Riley was... basically second in the house with a couple of girls by his side, and that's when he was revealed to people think that all I do is live in my mom's basement and play video games all day. Yeah, well, you're fucking right. He's got the broken nose. He's not a big, huge
horrible.
athlete.
Is that true? If you didn't say that, I never would have expected that.
Yeah, I didn't think of him that way, but I guess he is a true slacker. He's from fucking Boston,
He's an OCT, but he's a Bostonian.
Yeah. It's like a fucking
like Cara
CT
Maria.
life. Yeah.
There's no Cara Maria.
No Cara, no fucking
But we
CT.
do have Jamie. Jamie is from Boston?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah,
he is. And he has the accent almost all the time. Especially when he's banging Ashley down in the marsh. Fucker.
In the marsh.
Blow me, I says. Fucker. Alright. Second, alright. So anyways, and then Jessica... all I have written down for her, she's getting flirted. I mean, she's flirting with Tony, which is hurting my feelings. I'm like, no.
No. I can totally see that, but that's totally Jessica.
Yes, but it's just Tony shows up in a room full of girls, and you could have had anyone you wanted. Tony, why choose my girl? But then
you're just offended because you're in love with her, right?
Yeah, but I got Avery, Brianna.
No, Avery's no. Avery's
I
mine.
got Avery. Really?
Yeah.
No.
Avery's mine.
Can I get Brianna too? Both of them.
Brianna? Okay.
Right.
Oh, she's a catch though.
Yeah. What else is left, motherfucker? No one. Sarah's married. Apparently not in a good relationship, so you got a shot. Everyone's got a shot. Alright. Well.
I'd have to go with Nicole or something. I'm not sure who.
Oh, Jenna, maybe.
Jenna.
Yeah.
Yes.
No!
Jenna. No. Thank you for making my draft pick
Barbie
for me.
Beast.
Oh,
No.
But yeah, I do want to talk about Jenna later too. Because she's great.
Yeah, she's up on the list.
But we're talking about Jonna and Jenna, or
Johnny Riley and Jessica.
Jessica.
And from originally, I said that they weren't even a good couple because they, Hurricane Naya beat the shit out of Johnny Riley, and Jessica's like, Sarah, you're right. Well, stemming from that, I guess they treated each other like horribly. They would get into all these verbal scuffles, and Johnny Riley would be like, "Yeah, fat fucking cow,"
Really?
They're as big as a cow in the marsh, stuck in the marsh. It just looks like you fucker.
So he really was an asshole.
Yeah,
there.
and I can believe
see
it.
that.
I can see
he
it.
Seems like it.
Yeah, he does. So, anyways, they're going, and it should be noted that they're going first. That sucks by random draw. and Jessica falls, trying to get the third skull. And Jessica says there was no communication while we were playing. Johnny Riley says Jessica's biggest fear is biggest fear. Jessica's biggest weakness is fear. She she let her legs buckle underneath her and fell. Like, you can't pull up a girl if she's fucking buckling under the legs. But anyways, he says we're an easy act to follow.
You gotta say in the accent still. You can't go in and out of the accent.
Well, Johnny Riley's got such a thick accent. I'm like, I don't want to impersonate it anymore. It's bad because I can't do it. But he says we lowered the bar. We're an easy act to follow. So that was kind of cool. But and spoiler alert, they're automatically into the jungle. All right, next is Nani's cousin Nicole. Nicole and Dario. Nicole,
some Battle of the Bloodlines alumni.
Yeah, Nicole shows up and fake as ever. It's just like it's insane because I already know what her actual face is, which is fine. She's cute. You know, she looks like a real person, but then as soon as she puts on all her makeup...
The weird contact, the colored contacts really freak me out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she's the makeup girl. But, I don't know, we won't get into makeup shaming.
No, we don't do that. Although she fucking shames her own father. She's like, if I win, I'm going to give my dad Botox because he needs it, and boobs because I want them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
That was an interesting thing to say. Some people come from parts of the world that are like a different country, different. I don't understand it. I'm just refrain from judgment because there's certain people that view the world completely different than I do.
And you know what though? Maybe she's not being like kind of bitchy by saying that about her own father. Maybe her own father is why she puts all this makeup on. He's had work done. And he's like, Nicole, when you go on this challenge, I need Botox. Go.
What Nicole needs to do is go to the gym because she's got some skinny ass legs. Yeah, she needs to work on those legs.
Well,
they're not like Jenna's. Jenna, she doesn't skip leg day.
Oh yeah,
that's why I'm a big fan of Jenna.
Yeah, Jenna's amazing. She just totally captured my heart.
I know because it was Nicole and Jenna. They were both in bikinis getting into the pool. Yeah. And I was like, Jenna was so much hotter, I thought.
Yeah. I was just like, what do I look at? Some real ass in front of me or the fakest? You know, like, she mentions, like, how her eyebrows could have flew off. I'm like, that's weird. That's fucking weird, isn't it? Next is Tony and Camilla.
I like this team.
Tony, but, okay, this was such bullshit. Tony's let in the house last, right? And the only spot left is a room full of girls. And the producers were like, excellent.
I didn't even think of that.
They totally set him up for that scenario, did they not? And I told you this before in the pre-show, where they're like the producers really think that Tony's like the next star. They're like, Leroy didn't work. Get away, Leroy. Like, we gotta make sure that he works.
No, Leroy's great. Leroy's one of my favorites.
He's also got back spasms. Hey-o.
That's okay. He'll work through it.
Alright, well, anyways, Tony shows up very last, and it's with a room full of chicks. So producers are like, oh, we know he's a fucking slut. He's a man slut.
Because we see later, Tony just likes to talk about every chick in the house and which ones want him.
The other thing is, producers are also kind of encouraging this thing. Bananas was put first to feed his ego. Tony was put last to feed his fucking cock. You know what I mean? He's already got someone knocked up and has a kid, and then he also has this other chick that's currently knocked up from another season.
Really?
This guy, yeah.
This guy's a father?
He's a father of two.
Oh,
a father of one with one on the way with another chick.
This guy, no, we need to give this guy a vasectomy. 2 is enough.
He's Johnny Appleseed, just dropping seed all over America.
All these
Tony Appleseed.
All these fatherless children that are going to be out there now because we got Tony as a dad. That's probably worse than no dad.
So you believe me when producers are like, oh my god, he's a fucking star. Let's fucking do everything we can to make sure that he's the next CT. He's
They're really pushing him.
Yeah. Like,
I'm okay with it, but I do want to see something in a mission where he looks good. Because if he can't survive in eliminations, it ain't going to matter. They can push their golden boy all they want. It ain't going to work.
Do you do anything but fuck chicks when they're drunk? Not really.
Could you do a pull-up? No.
Ashley and Corey. Ashley is that we don't know if she's 19 or 36. You know what I mean? Like, but she's the one that says, "I would sell your family, Corey," and it makes me really not like her and just feel like, is she like a wicked witch? Like Corey's just like, no, this chick's terrible. She's crazy and shit. You know what I mean? She's like, fuck. He's like, never mind the racial tensions. She shouldn't be in this house at all because they kicked her out. You know, not just because of what she said, but overall. And he said, like, trust me, y'all. Like, she's crazy.
Like, I'm rooting for Corey, and I really hope that Ashley lives up to being good. But you know what? There's not a good success rate for the chick who bangs a dude immediately after she shows up to the house. I don't feel like those chicks stick around for long.
Yeah, it's like this. The challenge follows the same rules as a scary
If you're going to be like Savannah or...
Number 1, you can never have sex. Number 2, never drink or do drugs.
Yeah.
And number 3, never ever say, I'm retiring. Because you won't retire. You'll keep coming.
You'll keep coming back for the sequel. There's always another sequel.
Or never ever say, before elimination, when I come back, I'm going to raise hell. Because you never fucking come back and raise hell. Right?
Is that true?
That should be the third. That should be the third quote, actually. Yeah. Next is Leroy and Avery.
Leroy,
yes. The fakest fucking pairings. We all know that this was the fakest fucking pairing of all time. The chinkiest, the weakest.
He's kind of friends with everybody.
Yeah. Again, right? The producers were just like Leroy.
So what do you do with a Leroy? You know?
Yeah.
You gotta pair him with somebody.
Anyways,
and Avery's awesome. I love Avery.
I love
She's
Avery
super hot.
as well. And I'm sure I could be more articulate in my love than Dave. So throughout the season, we'll see who she picks.
Do you want to have a deaf poetry jam? Jenna and Vince. This is actually, I mean, Vince is new from Bloodlines, but as Banana's cousin, it feels like Vince has been around for years. I don't know why, but he was there like the entire season last year. Banana's got a cousin as a partner. Banana's cousin is going to be awesome. This guy's going to be really good.
Yeah. And
he wasn't at all. He's a complete disappointment. And like Jenna, she started off as just like the dumb, ditzy blonde girl. No expectations at all. And now, like, over the last 2 years, she's looked awesome. She's gotten to 2 finals in a row.
Yeah.
First 2 seasons. And she actually does good and seems to be pretty athletic.
And she says, the ditzy blonde girl is not an act. I am actually like this. I will say things before really thinking about it. And she says that. This is not a
she seems completely real. She doesn't seem fake at all.
And it just fucking sold me on her. I'm just like, oh my god, it's like, you know, what's Radio? Cuba Gooding Jr. Special Needs. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
But basically just picture a person who's just like, yeah, I'm not perfect, but I'm... Okay, maybe not that. You're beautiful. No, she's just saying, like...
Jenna's much brighter.
But it's insane. It's just like, I like seeing her. She was fucking hot in that pool with Nicole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
She's smoking hot.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into the hand motion we just did there. Yeah, she's smoking hot. I like her personality. She's a totally real person. She's funny. She's the reason she kind of just rambles with the way she talks sometimes is because she knows she's going to say something funny.
Right.
And she stumbles into it, and it works for her. You know, they got to see the entire island of Mexico.
Also, oh yeah, the whole island of Mexico.
It's an island, right? That was funny to me. I enjoyed that. But I do feel like if Ashley said that, I would immediately hate it. So Jenna does have some likability to her. She just has that natural charisma.
Curse of the Black Skull. I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. I was like, oh, cool. And when it's finally revealed what it is, I'm like, I don't know, man. How do you feel? How do you like it?
So we're just going to talk about the format of the show and the change for that?
And then we'll jump back to the beginning.
I thought it was cool at first, but then at the same time it reminded me a lot of Free Agents.
Yeah.
With flipping the death card or whatever it was called. And then that person, like, oh, you're unlucky, so you get to go in.
Mm.
So now you're going to have certain teams that they'll get voted into elimination, but then they don't draw that, so then they never have to compete.
Right.
There's going to be a team like that that'll move along in this season. And
just
not
every
really have to
time they'll
compete.
be lucky, you think?
Yeah. I mean, that's happened with certain people.
That's true. Yeah. But, these are little bitty toy skulls they're pulling out. I wanted them to reach in and grab, like, an actual, like, life-size skull and, like, oh, it's white. Cool. But weird. You know what I mean?
Not some little trinket they got at a little stand.
Like from some goddamn head shop or something like that. But for some reason, I don't know, I'm just saying that the wooden boards with the skull burnt into it, the design, is way cooler than a little toy.
Yeah, if it was more Indiana Jones and the crystal skull, like, that would have been cool.
Oh, yeah. You pull out the alien skull and you have to go in. They're like, we could really tell down there. This thing feels like a football. Yeah. Let's just get to the actual episode where it opens up with Vince and Jenna coming back, and Vince is like, "Oh, I'm the king. The king is here," and shit like that.
I thought it was great.
Yeah,
like, because I'm like, Vince is acting cocky and he's hot dog and he's happy he won, but he should be really happy because he has Jenna as his partner, who's one of the strongest female competitors.
That's
like,
true.
He's set. Like, he is the weaker person on the team, I feel like, against his competition versus Jenna and her competition. Yeah. So, I mean, he's pumped and he should be.
Yeah, but Jenna wasn't walking around like, look at these tits, they won, or anything like that. I don't know why she would be like that, but...
No, Jenna is so modest, and she's like, she doesn't have an ego at all. She goes in, she kicks ass, and then you'd never even notice it when they just show her on camera. She just seems super chill.
Like she's a sleeper agent. They gotta be like, code, alpha, mega, super deluxe, and she's like, of course, and then she does the mission, and then Vince just goes, 3, 2, 1. Like that, and just like, what?
It's like Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones, and he just...
Just like, it's so weird. Like, when I feel like I've been roofied, but I'm a little bit richer. Like, let's be some sort of prostitute. No, she's a challenger. She's a sleeper agent challenger.
She's the ultimate pro. Like, she's Peyton Manning. She's awesome on the field, and then off the field, she says all the right things, and she's just very cool and respectful.
All the right things. No, she's funny as in, like, a George W. Bush sort of way. Like, did you fucking just say that? Dumbass. But, we love her and shit. A doctor shows up to check out Leroy's back, man. He's got some back problems. Roy Lee, no.
And he's been there, 3 days? 3 days or something like that?
Yeah, it's still the first episode, so...
So, and his back hurts already. And it's like, okay, so that couldn't have been a new injury. It had to be something he was battling for a while, right? It's like a pinched nerve. That's not something that just happens overnight. That's like, usually back issues are like a long, ongoing issue.
Do you think it's time for the challengers to realize that their poster boy just ain't gonna cut it anymore? They gotta cut him? I mean, these are 2 early exits from injuries. Sure, Leroy didn't get injured on Bloodlines. It was his cousin that got injured. She broke her toe and stuff like that, But Leroy's got a back problem. This is worse than Corey's ACL missing. You know what I mean? Like, what can you do? Do you really keep bringing Leroy back? Because it sounds like Leroy's got a cush life. He's like, I'm a bartender for Britney Spears.
This season for him was really just a cameo. It was almost like he's taking this season off. Where it's like, hey, you're unable to compete, but hey, just come here on the show. You'll show up, and then we'll send you home in like 3 days. Well, like, did he know about this injury going in, and it was all just a setup?
Worse.
Like, hey, you can't make it this season, but hey, just show up, and then we'll send you home after a few episodes. MTV, is this collusion?
Yeah, but that sucks for Avery then. Don't give Avery Leroy if he's gonna take
exactly
off,
the real loser in all of this is it's Avery, but it's us because we want to see Avery.
And so does the cameraman. When Leroy goes into the ambulance, the cameraman is shooting outside from the window. I mean, shooting inside, and watching Avery just like looking concerned, but she's more hot than concerned. And like the whole time, you're just like watching as the ambulance is driving away. Not once, does he look at Leroy. I just thought that was great.
I think another thing is that him and Jessica, their relationship is over. And he knows they're never going to get back together, so he's like, I'm not going to fucking waste my time trying to be nice.
No, they were just roommates. They didn't date or anything. Johnny, Riley, and Jessica?
They never dated?
No.
I thought they dated.
No.
Really?
No.
They act like a freaking broken up couple.
Well, that's how he treated Avery. He was just not, didn't even want to talk about it. So maybe that's why it feels like it's the ex as well.
I mean, they probably hooked up though, right? Or no? That or...
It sounds like no. It sounds like he would just say, like, you know, lose some weight, you know, make your life a living hell, girl, and shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at least it just seems like Johnny got turned down by her, and he's like, all right, I'm not going to even try and be nice to this girl anymore. I'm just going to be a complete asshole. Because usually if there's some possibility that you can get together with a chick, you're going to be nice to them. At least put on a act nice to their face.
Okay.
But not with Johnny. Johnny's just like full-on asshole whenever he sees her.
Like grade school crush, playground, just like, yeah, when a boy hits you, that means they like you. It's just like, well, I hope I don't bring this into my adulthood. Cause
I need more eyeshadow for my black eye.
No.
But they're having dinner, and Jenna and Vince are having dinner and having a very boring conversation.
Yeah, Jenna's just like, like she's like, I don't even want to win anymore if we have to sit here and do this. I believe her.
Awkward 20 minutes, just like
I believed her when she said that.
And then Vince is immediately just like, maybe someone whispered in his ear, "Hey, why don't you just bring down another group?" And you're like, okay, yeah, that'll get some conversation
like,
going because they're just sitting there alone, just trying to eat and like.
He's like, I'm dying in there. He's all sweaty and shit. He's like Charlie. He's like, I ate so much cheese and shit. And the dinner also reminded me that Jenna doesn't eat anything. She was just picking at everything. Remember, Vince and Jenna could still get fucked over by an eating challenge in the final, if they even get that far. So it's like, we always have to remember that's her one thing. That's her Achilles heel.
She did swallow the sausages really well, though.
She did. While winking in the camera. And I was just like, whoa. Very suggestive, Jenna.
So she did good at that, but it was...
Alright, so now it's called nominations. I think this is deliberations. They call it nominations this time, which is cool. I don't mind that. But TJ's like, first things first, Leroy. All the doctor said, you can't perform anymore, so you're out of here. Avery's out of here. What'd you think about it? Me personally, I'm just like, if it's a back problem, like we said in the beginning of the episode, retire him, cut him, you know.
It's not something that he can't come back from. Of course he can come back from it.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
You don't think he's gonna have future back problems?
No, I mean, a pinched nerves. I mean, it's something that he can work out and recover from in 4 to 6 weeks. I'm sure.
All right.
He doesn't need to go into retirement. Peyton Manning had neck surgery and he came back and he won a Super Bowl. Or his team won a Super Bowl. I don't know if he did.
The producers love all these personalities that they have in all their interactions. They're just filming them and they're just like, the mission, what about it? You know what I mean? They're just kind of getting pushed later on. So that's all we're here to talk about. Right? I mean, it's good stuff, is it not? It's interesting enough, you know, with Ashley Smashley, as Corey calls her. The eternal drunk, like the day walker. She's just like, yeah, I'm just fucking drunk all the time.
Yeah,
Corey,
and
like...
she talks in a certain way where you're not sure if she's drunk or not. You're like, well, she's slurring like she's drunk, but she could be sober because she kind of just talks that way all the time.
Yeah,
and it's always in this weird state if you don't know where exactly she is.
Yeah, she's like the female Southern version of Johnny Depp's, what was it called? Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. I couldn't think of it. Yeah, she's basically Jack Sparrowing it the entire time. She's like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm fucking drunk. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And I can, once again, I don't know how old she is at all. Because her level of drunken sadness ages her from like 35 to fucking 19.
She seems like she's obviously just like 22 years old. And she's so drunk and she has no idea how to fucking handle herself. She drinks way too much and then she's like, whoa. She doesn't realize what she just did to herself. She's just self-sabotaging. I mean, it's kind of the kind of person that they wanted to get on the show this season. Like someone who will just get blackout drunk and do crazy stuff.
And I am paying attention whenever she's on. You know, I am just like fascinated by like, how did, you know, the producers should feel so bad, you know, that they're letting her exist.
They're recording her downfall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like, you ever watch The Fighter when Christian Bale's character thinks that they're making a documentary about his comeback or whatever, but when really it's just all about his heroin addiction.
That's not how I remember the movie.
That's what the MTV challenge is right now for poor Ashley, man. Ashley's like, you know what? I'm going to show all these bitches. They can't be like high school bitches. You know, like she talks about Simone and Jessica talking about her and everyone keeping her out of the loop and shit, you know, but when really they're like, look at her, she's fucking, you know. Like the title of our documentary isn't called the Phoenix of Ashley, you know, because remember, she got kicked out of Real World. She was only there for a couple episodes, and when she told Corey, when she told Corey, she's like, my family would buy your family if we remember where our money was, because we're so fucking drunk. You know what I mean? But like...
But Corey forgave her for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I'm not sure I'd be that easy to forgive. Come on, Corey. Stand up for yourself.
But what I'm saying is, it's not about her improving her character to the audience at all. No. They're still just like, oh my god, it's called The Demise of Ashley. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's sad. Controversial in my mind. Let's continue on. Okay, once they get back to the house, Ashley sits by Jamie and says, "What's wrong?" And Jamie's just like stunned, like, "What do you mean?" Like, you yelled at me. And Ashley's like, "About what?"
Wait, you don't remember? Were you not there?
And Jamie's like, "What's the matter with you?"
Why would you do that?
But okay, so somehow this blurry, smudged, makeup, drunken, trailer trash beauty queen is like, hey, forget it. You know what I mean? Like, I figured everyone was against me or whatever. And Jamie just says, basically, well, don't feel that way. And they end up hooking up that same night. Now, a good friend of mine, in fact, DJ Matty Nice once said, don't stick your dick in crazy. And I just have to say that to Jamie.
I don't know that Matsu has followed that advice, but I can now say that Jamie doesn't follow that advice either. I mean, we've all had open ears to Matt making poor decisions. DJ Matty Nice.
Jamie and Kellyanne. Kellyanne, how she chips away at her soap is amazing. This is Yoga Hoser herself, Kellyanne, and she's hot. I don't know, I couldn't get over it. She, of course, had this face on her the entire time where she was just kind of annoyed, kind of rolling her eyes or whatever. And, you know, Jamie's, like, grinding away behind her and stuff like that. But
yeah,
they do well, you know.
Kellyanne looked hot as hell, grinding on that soap. When it was Kellyanne, I was just like, oh, yep, alright. We're good right now.
Basically, what she did, how I imagine if a girl drops the soap in like Orange is the New Black, that's what happens. They just drop down and grind on it. You're like, holy shit!
You wish.
Dropping the soap in a
happens.
Female prison is amazing compared to the man thing that happens when you drop a soap in a man prison.
But Orange is the New Black never did that.
Oh, but they should. So in last place is Thomas and Simone.
Yeah.
They were actually grinding face to face. That's a little impersonal, right?
It was. And they weren't particularly good at it.
Ironically enough. I mean, if sex was always, doggy style like it's, portrayed on the soap bar, face to face is actually impersonal this time around.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I feel like it's more personal because you're looking at them.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like, hey, don't even come close to me. Sort of thing, because the people that were back to front or whatever, doggy style, they bumped each other all the time. But when they went face to face,
then you're gonna smash knees.
I guess we do have to say that Simone hurt herself on that soap challenge.
Yeah.
The previous episode where that mission meant nothing. Teacher's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the fact that you basically embarrassed yourselves on national television for nothing. You've jeopardized your relationships back home, you know what I mean? Like that's
and Nani and Wes got first in that challenge, and then they're like, TJ's, don't worry about it. We're not gonna have an elimination. So even though the mission is completely didn't matter.
Yeah, and the worst thing about this soap challenge in episode 3 is that Simone's not the only person that hurt herself. Apparently, a lot of the girls got yeast infections from this thing.
Are you serious?
And the dudes hurt themselves too. They were just like, fuck, my fucking nut. Yeah, like, fuck, this would have annoyed the shit out of me if I was there.
I was surprised they didn't have them, like, wear something, like, more than just, like, their Speedo Because they're just wearing those Speedo, like, underwear. Or they're, like, you know, skin-tight wetsuits, but they're super short. Like, that's not protection at all.
No. Well, a producer's like, it's what? It's soap. It's the cleanest thing they ever had between their knees. You know what I mean? And apparently the mission took 20 minutes to do. That's insane.
That's a lot of friction.
Yeah.
Especially for down there.
Yeah. All these girls are like, I've never had a man last this long. This hurts now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brianna's like, remember when her makeup's melting off?
Oh,
and
yeah.
like,
Just come already.
Yeah. She's like, soap's in my eye, but we still have to go. This is not complete.
Finished?
Yeah.
Come on.
What else? Nicole wearing glasses without makeup, but glasses.
Yeah.
Big enough nerd glasses, quote unquote. Where, you know, you see girls who post photos of them and they're like fucking hot as shit, but they have glasses on.
Or they'll wear like a Star Wars t-shirt just to act like they're a nerd.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm a total nerd, lol.
Yeah.
One actual nerd's like, this is fucking insulting. Like, I live with nerdom day in and day out. I don't, you know, it's not an Instagram situation. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. But anyways, Nicole's wearing those glasses, and I guess she tells Wes, hey, I think that Nate of all people is hot and attractive. That's weird. Coming from where? The chicken shit that wouldn't jump out of the plane? The guy who cried in the dojo?
Yeah, who the hell would like Nate? Nate he talks like he's talking, I don't know, he just talks funny to me. And then he's a total wimp.
And then Wes goes and says, hey Nate, tell her these things and ask her out. And Nate goes up there and is extremely awkward. I'm like, you were on a dating show, Nate.
Yeah, come on.
Those were your origins. God damn it.
He should have a little bit of experience with this.
A tiny bit. Jesus, fuck,
Very
man.
uncomfortable. Come on, man.
So yeah, what is he? I don't know what he even says to Nicole, but Nicole's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was... If he was reading it off a teleprompter, it would have been better than the way he said it.
Point. Kellyanne's like, listen, this is not worth it. I mean, this isn't a big deal. And Camilla's like, don't, stop saying it's not a big deal. Kellyanne, on the other hand, we know that she does yoga. She probably fucking, you know, zens out. She's really chill, man. She is the voice of reason. She is a beautiful voice of reason. She's so fucking hot, and she's so calm, and she's just kind of like, you know, she knows that this is probably the worst part.
She's like,
you know
let's do some stretches and meditate on the matter.
Yeah.
See how we feel in the morning.
Fuck, man. But, like, Camilla won't have any of it because she is not mature, as some of us like to think of her as.
Yeah.
She is not going to mature because she's not going to step down from all these younger bitches that are never going to stop coming. There's always going to be another Amanda, Ashley, anyone to piss her off. They're never going to stop. So this whole Camillinator and like showing those old clips, well, hopefully let's get some new clips. I hate the whole like her hitting the floor with the chair. I'm like,
oh, it's great. It's
one
one of the most... No, it's not played out. That's one of the most iconic scenes ever.
You're gonna
Camilla
die.
throwing furniture. The "You're gonna die" line was great too. Did you say
Dario, by the way, is pretty cool this episode.
Yeah,
like out of all the Are You the One, like we keep on bitching about him or having all the shit to say. Dario's actually, he kind of won me over a little bit.
Yeah,
he had great lines.
It's weird because on the Bloodline season, I actually liked Rafi more than I did Dario.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed Dario was
Dude,
back.
they
but
switched it up.
Maybe they swap. Yeah, they swap passports, and then they're like, "Oh, Rafi's going."
Yeah, man, fucking.
You never know. Or maybe it's like an Olsen twin situation where one hides in the closet, and then when like the camera guy turns away, the other guy jumps out.
Yeah, and then like Kellyanne's like, Dario, come back to bed. He's like, just a second. Thanks, Rafi. And then eventually Dario's like, hey, Kellyanne, you ever watch The Watchmen? She's like, why do you ask? Have you ever seen The Watchmen?
No, but
okay.
I feel like I know what this is going to work towards.
Where Dr. Manhattan can multiply himself. I'm glad that you never watched it, but you knew what I was going to say, basically. Anyways, yeah. Call me Dario Manhattan, baby. Multiply, bring Rafi into the mix. They fucking do a fucking Eiffel Tower on her ass.
Yeah, you gotta
Wes
fill that
is
void.
like, oh my god, I missed out. Wrong time.
Can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
No, you can't. But you can turn her into a fucking iconic... is it one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Eiffel Tower? No? Probably not.
Eiffel Tower? No, it's far too new. Far too small.
Okay.
There's only like two of what? No. Is it one of those even exists to this day, and that's the pyramids?
No. What about the Easter Island heads? Isn't that
That's
them?
not a wonder of the world. No,
What about...
those were discovered long after they made that Seven
Stonehenge?
Wonders. I don't know. That's not even part of it. It's just like the hanging gardens in Babylon, and then like like the
they're not around anymore. Yeah. Well, thank God Kellyanne. she's a 8th wonder of the world. How many
well, that was Andre the Giant, and then the 9th wonder of the world was China. So Kellyanne could be the 10th.
Oh, the 10th wonder of the world. Okay. So now we have our second power team dinner of the season. Corey and Ashley. Corey says, "Hey Ashley, I want to put in Nelson and Amanda because they came in late. Makes sense. Prove yourself." And then Ashley says, "You know what? If you weren't friends with Thomas, I would say that the best second pick would be Thomas and Simone." And Corey says, "I can't do that. Obviously, he's my best friend."
He couldn't say Tom's name.
Yeah, I can't say his name. And it's great because Ashley's like, "I like Tom as well." Ashley uses the same name. Tom. She is still kind of agreeing with him without bringing up the main thing.
She threw it on the table and it got denied. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to keep playing this.
Yeah.
This hand isn't over.
Exactly.
And then she has another move she plays later to try and get her way.
So anyways, Corey says they're a weak team. But then Ashley says, "You know what? Simone makes a lot of enemies." And Corey's like, "Yeah, exactly. Keep them here."
Didn't you say, that's the kind of cancer I want to keep in the house?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm surprised I kept that line and put it in the show.
Why is that?
Any kind of reference to cancer?
No.
Is that in poor taste?
No.
That's in poor taste.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's part of life, whether it touches the challenge or not.
But
it's also a term used in the challenge. It's been used. CT was called a cancer.
Yeah.
In the house by bananas.
Yeah, but that was 10 years ago. We're in the PC age now. Gotta be politically correct.
Okay. So what do you call it in the PC era? Dark spot on the X-ray or what?
No, it could be. A lot of times it'll be more white colored.
Oh, is it?
Colored,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
It'll be more dense. It'll be more dense, and the lighter the color, the more dense the object in a radiograph.
Well, that's what you could say then. Dense. What are you, fucking dense? And you're like, I am not a cancer on this house. Fuck you. How insensitive are you? Call me dense.
The next part they get to on this lap is, this is the last lap too.
All right.
And it's eat the birthday cake or be in your birthday suit.
Yeah, get naked.
And Bananas and Sarah there first. They get
And
there and Sarah immediately wants to take her clothes off.
I do not care about my marriage back home. I am willing to get naked. That's what she should have said.
She immediately is like, I will take my clothes off.
She's a brand new goddamn bride. Like, if I was her husband, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's true. Have some modesty, Sarah.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, I'm trying to eat the cake.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she's like, no. You know why? Because it reminds me of wedding cake. Alright, so anyways.
Maybe she's worried about her thighs getting any thicker.
She's like, I'd rather show them off.
Sarah's kind of rocking the mom bod, you know.
The mom bod.
I mean, she doesn't look like she's in that great shape. Like, she looked a lot better in Battle of Axis too.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
she did.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Let herself go since her victory, is what I'm saying.
Since her victory, since that W. You mean the wedding? She's like, no, not the fucking wedding, the win. We're like, we think you're not happy being married, Sarah. What makes you say that? Right, so anyways.
Yeah, and they're kind of just rocking their mom and dad bods, and then like Wes is saying, Bananas and Sarah look horrible. They look worse than they've ever looked, ever.
Wow, yeah. I mean, this is coming from the guy that looks like Dr. Manhattan when he's naked, just completely blinding white light just coming from him. I mean, you guy's a redhead, you can't, shouldn't throw stones or whatever.
But it's funny. Wes is really funny. He says, ugly, peeling, rotting bananas. Ugh.
Gross.
But you could say Bananas arguably does look better than Wes with his shirt off.
like totally girlfriend. But you know what though, it is so. I mean, I know that Bananas doesn't like to eat shit, so I understood him skipping the cake. But it was interesting just to. I don't know. I'm personally not that bold to just get like. What would you have done?
I would have done the naked thing.
Yeah.
But I would have been like covering myself up probably.
I would have too. I take it back. I don't want to,
I would
stand
cover
out.
myself
I don't
up,
want
though.
to seem like some sort of prude, but well, I mean, I'm rocking a 220 right now, and it's not the greatest for television, especially MTV.
You're like Thomas, you're a dad bod?
If you want to get, yeah, oh, for sure. Oh my gosh. And I'm glad that he admitted it, because when I saw him back, he had the facial hair, and for some people, they grow the facial hair because they're kind of rocking a double chin just a little bit.
That's true.
I mean, I know
Are
you don't
you
do it.
implying something?
No, you don't do it.
I don't know.
I don't think
Maybe
you've ever
I do.
had one, you skinny fuck. Yeah, Rivals 3, Episode 7. What's the title of this?
Camillinator Salvation.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Okay, so we go in this knowing that it's going to be a Camilla-heavy episode, and I'm just like kind of...
Well, we just came off a Camilla-centric episode
Yeah.
with the token
Yeah.
and her getting sent in. But then at the end, ultimately there was no elimination, so everyone's happy, and we're back. But something, we'll talk about it later, like something bad happens for Camilla. And they did have Camilla-centric storyline going on, but the entire episode wasn't necessarily all about her. But she did have an event happen to her where grandma died, and she got that sad phone call, and then after that, there's deliberation whether she's going to get nominated or not.
Right.
And, we're going to end up talking about that a lot,
So-
because that's the biggest point with Camilla.
And that's considered salvation? Like, it's not really
For sure.
appropriate, Camillinator. And I guess we're adopting the nickname Camillinator now? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think so. It's official. It's Facebook official.
I never, yeah, I guess. I never really took it that seriously. I'm like, Camillinator. I heard it once and was never that impressed.
And now Camillinator has a sequel. It's Salvation. Because I think they had an episode in Bloodlines where it was called Camillinator. This is the sequel to that.
Yeah, and I believe it's like, what, technically the third sequel to that particular franchise. Terminator Salvation, Christian Bale or whatever. And that's totally appropriate because Christian Bale, remember when he fucking ripped on everyone on set? That's exactly what Camilla does in Unreal World. Where she's like, oh, good for you. We're fucking done professionally. You know what I mean?
It's true.
That could be her ripping and yelling at her own partner, Tony. A producer comes up to Camilla and says, hey, get on the phone. Camilla gets on the phone.
Yeah,
and
your
sister,
maybe call
right?
your sister.
Call your sister.
Larissa.
And I'm like, wait a minute, that's Larissa, right? And
From
sure
Bloodlines.
enough, she's on the phone. And Larissa's on the other line. She's like, hey, I want you to sit down because, it's kind of hard to hear or whatever. Our grandmother passed away. Which is, hey, you know what? That's quite a blow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can be really big for some people because everyone's relationship with their grandparents are different. Some people, they're just someone they kind of met when they were younger, but then they passed away when they were young and they didn't really get to know them. Other people, you can be basically parented by your grandparents.
Yeah.
And they're always there helping you out, forever. And it seemed like for Camilla, it seems like she knew her very well, and she's really hurt by this, and it was kind of sad, and it was tough to watch.
Not only did Camilla know her very well, she even said that she gets all her toughness from her grandma, all her feistiness. Basically, everything that she's like, hey, this is what makes Camillinator, Camillinator. You know what I mean? She is that black dude in Terminator 2, the guy who created Skynet, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who works at the building?
Yeah. That's basically her grandma.
Wow. You're going to need to elaborate because I'm not quite putting it together based off of that information alone.
Anyways, I mean, I don't know how the grandma passed away, God rest her soul or whatever, but I remember the black dude, he had this bomb detonator, remember? He had this bomb detonator, and he was all shot up to shit, and the squads came up, and he's just, barely breathing, he's about to die, and he's like, I don't know how much longer I can hold this. And he had that detonator or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they were like, holy fuck, he's about to die. Get the fuck out. And he presses it and he blows up and shit.
Yep.
That's not how the grandma went away at all.
I want Amanda to stay. And to see her go in, that's scary. And Kellyanne versus Amanda. There's a hot chick going home.
Yeah, we barely talked about it, but Kellyanne is I don't know if she's playing up the whole, like, oh, I'm a crazy 30-year-old person, you know what I mean? Or if she's just that person. Because she giggles at the fact that she has to go in sometimes. But
she does seem very bonkers, like, all the time. And, like, I don't know, but that's kind of Kellyanne. That's who she is.
Yeah.
She's like Dean Ambrose, you know, lunatic fringe.
Okay, so now, chill out. Let's describe this. You basically have to sit together as a team in a big bath of ice, cold ice water, for a solid minute. Then you have 2 minutes to try and solve this puzzle, which is basically what? Hockey pucks?
And these
boards.
weird little round discs, and then these flat boards that are
Stack
kind of
them
squares,
together.
basically.
Yeah, like tiles.
Yep.
Basically.
And you got to stack them up, and there's a pole with a red piece of tape, and you have to have it taller than that.
Yep. Okay, so it's about to start. Jamie's like, you know what? I'm probably gonna piss. Why was he saying that? I don't even remember.
I guess he wanted to warm up the water with his warm pee, but like.
Kellyanne
That's
was
a lot
totally
of ice.
fine with it.
Yeah, she was totally into it.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, come on, Kellyanne, just put up some kind of like. You have grounds on sanitation concerns. Like, come on, don't do this. Like, no, that's gross, but like, it's not going to help in any way. Come on.
She's so laid back. Kellyanne is so zen, so laid back. She's such a hippie. She's like, yeah, man, fucking piss on me. Like, treat me like I was
bro.
Yeah, like, I'm a jellyfish victim. Fucking piss on me and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Like, I know who the team is.
Yeah, aren't they from Are You the One Too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're nobodies. That's newsworthy to me. Where they're setting it up like, ooh, there's a replacement team, and everyone's like, and I was like, we don't even know them. They're just another layup team.
Wouldn't it be great if it was Abram again?
See, that's what was good about Bloodlines. At least we got Abram. It was like, oh, somebody we know. But if it's just gonna be, the replacements are legit. Like, they're the replacements. They're a bunch of nobodies, just like the movie with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, man.
He's just a nobody, and he's going to take over to play quarterback in the NFL. It's like, they're bringing him on the show. It's like, you're no Abram.
Yeah.
I don't even know the guy's name or the girl's name.
It's still hard to believe that Abram was a replacement. He wasn't there to begin with. You know, that's like listening to a band's song, and you're like, what? This wasn't on the album? You stupid motherfuckers. Like, this could have been a #1 hit and shit like that. But, yeah. Well, anyways, that's Abram. And this is Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vince and Cloud. And remember to like, subscribe, comment. And this is a weekly podcast, so just tune in every time. Every time. And we're also having Rivals 1 Season 21 being put out at the same time with Scott Allwood.
What do you mean? I don't do that.
I didn't want you to hear it.
Wait, you podcast with somebody else?
God,
You've been podcast cheating on me?
No, Dave. No. Ow! What the fuck? Ow!
How dare you?
Oh.
How dare you?
All right, fine. I'll just
hear
tell
nothing
people.
of this.
I
will thumbs down every video.
Okay, fine. I walked into a door. Nah, people. That's why. Right? Right, Dave? No! Ah! Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
You won't speak until you're spoken to, alright?
Oh,
You'll
that
know
was
your
right on
role
the
and
leg.
shut your mouth.
That was right on the leg. What a weird place to punch someone.
Punch wherever the hell I damn well want to.
Okay. Alright, well...
So you'll thumbs down this video, you'll comment your dislike and disapproval for it, or at least the Rivals 1.
Yeah. So this is that it?
That's it. This is
that
David
it?
Lauer.
Vincent Cloud. Ow! God damn it!